Welcome to Andre Renee's Creative Cafe radio show. This show focuses on the arts and artists' God-given talent. We strongly believe that you are your passion. Today I want to give a mention to the Bronzeville Life newspaper and their CEO, Maiti. I had the privilege to attend their 2018-2019 winter launch issue event. It was beautiful. This happened last Thursday. It was very epic. They had Sandy Red from The Voice and a multitude of people. So it was a privilege just to be there. So Miss Maita, great job, and I pray that you have much success. Now on today's show, we have a very powerful person indeed. Please take notes. You're going to hear some things that you probably didn't even know exist in the city of Gary. Today we have Mr. LaJuan Clemons. Say hello, Tony.
Hello, everyone. Pleasure.
So, you are the founder and CEO of the Family Life Community Center. Tell the people what's that all about.
Well, the Family Life Community Center is a faith-based community center geared towards ground roots ministry, where we believe that it doesn't take $1 million to sow a seed.
Okay.
We believe in the simple principles of that God has created, agriculture, which is just sowing the seed and waiting for the seed to germinate and grow. So we believe that the basic things can change a whole community. So we're not looking for the golden people. We're looking for people with problems, issues, people that you might throw away. And we've cultivated an atmosphere where there's deliverance in the broken. And we're putting the broken back together, and the broken has a story to tell, and that's where we get our testimonies from. And when people start hearing testimonies, that's where deliverance happens.
Indeed. Mr. Clemons, tell us what inspired you to start this foundation.
Well, as a kid, I grew up at Washington Street Church of God. James Anderson was the pastor. Michael Dotson is the pastor now. He founded the Brothers Keeper.
Oh.
Yeah, the Brothers Keeper Shelter for Homeless Men on 21st and Broadway.
Indeed.
We grew up a family that was together, but they had a soup kitchen. My grandmother worked in the soup kitchen, and I had the pleasure of actually going up there, getting a meal, and visiting the Brothers Keeper.
Okay.
I was fond of the bread giveaways and the pastry giveaways. They would let me take bags and bags of pastries home and cheese bread.
Right.
And I thought it was like, wow, look at all these donuts, these pastries. And that stuck with me, a man that had a vision for the community, creating a place that homeless people can get a second chance. And that's what I thought ministry was, giving back.
Servitude.
Yeah, serving.
I'm aware that you are a servant of God. Have you ever pastored?
Well, right now I'm pastoring. As I said before, it's ground roots. So what I did was invested in a property. Life Ministries is the ministry that I pastor. Ground roots mean that the community is my flock.
Right.
In the future, we're going to gather corporately on a given day. But what I see now, we have a pay what you can breakfast, and we offer a huge meal at a price that only you can afford.
Right.
So we don't put a limit on what you can afford. We give them a full course meal every morning from 7 till 12 o'clock. So in doing that, you get people coming in. We're fishers of men. They come in, get a meal. The spirit of the place is anointed. And
Indeed.
of course, if you're a Bible believer, it's the anointing that breaks the yoke.
Indeed.
People sit down and enjoy themselves, and they want more of ministry. And in the near future, we're going to offer more ministry.
As a former pastor, and when I say former pastor, I'm still considered a pastor. I'm just not a pulpit pastor. I'm not a pulpit preacher.
Right.
My ministry is what I do through my books.
Right.
And your ministry is what you do at your center.
Right.
Now, I've been there before.
Right.
And just for the world to know, I've been knowing him and his family since way back. I knew his wife since high school. They're very good people. So I'm not just promoting it because I've been there. It's just truth. You see what I don't actually have to say that. It's what you're doing is proving that you're a great person. So I was there and I paid, I think, $15 for my plate because I wanted to give back. And when I received my plate, it was unbelievable. It was full. And I dubbed it the best wings in town. And now I know people sell wings and they think they have the best wings. I guarantee you that you guys have the best wings in town. But however, I noticed a gentleman that came in there and he, again, looked like he needed a little help. And he was, I don't know what he gave, if anything.
Right.
But he received a meal for free. And actually the guy that was next to him received his meal for free. So he's not just saying words. I witnessed this in action. You can come and you pay what you have. This is huge.
Yeah, the concept of what our pay what you can program is, see, we don't have grants yet. We're a 501c3 nonprofit. But I believe if in ministry we preach that believe God. So sometimes we're hesitant because we don't have the grant money or our finances might be low. My reality came when God told me just do what I commanded you to do. And so He's anchored the ministry with the pay what you can program.
Okay.
That program is our budget. And in that budget, we're going to move into other ministries. And whenever you want to, get to that
Right.
talking point, we'll talk about that.
Indeed. My question, why Gary? Why not a bigger city?
Well, I believe in April 14th, this year, April 14th, the mayor, Karen Freeman, she had gotten with all of the community leaders, and they had a meeting about the crime and the overwhelming gloom that was overcast in the city. And she wasn't trying to put it out there, but it was a call for community leaders and churches to collaborate together to make a difference. I mean, we're the church.
Right.
Pretty much a church on every corner.
Indeed, yes.
We are community centers as churches. And we don't want to knock ministry, but the reality is, if it's a community center, the doors should be open more than just, Wednesdays and Sundays. We have to develop a budget corporately where we're not asking the government for everything. We have to put our monies together to minister and administer the gifts that's in the church. Not just basketball or football, but people really have gifts that can change this community.
Indeed.
And that's my goal.
Indeed. We're going to take a small commercial break. This commercial break is brought to you by the Family Life Community Center in Gary, Indiana, 565 Massachusetts Street. Be right back. Welcome back to Andre Renee's Creative Cafe. And we're here with the founder and CEO of the Family Life Community Center. What a wonderful place to be. And we are here with Mr. Clemons. So, this is your ministry. This is what God has called you to do. What I love what you said earlier. Actually, I was listening to a fellow preacher that a guy I grew up with. He stated that he had a budget every Sunday that he needed to run his church. And he said, God, if I don't meet this minimum, the church doors will close. And his first actual facility that he obtained, 4 people was there. So he's like, wow, this is going to be the quickest church ever in history. There's no way 4 people could come up with this amount of money. So when the deacon collected the money, he told Pastor, he said, Pastor, this is how much money we received. And he was a little bit on the doubting side, and it was triple the amount. And so when God sends you, God gives you what you need.
Right.
And so I know that you guys don't have funding as of yet, as far as the charities and so on and so forth. But going out on what God has told you to do, that's huge.
Right.
Where did that faith come from?
Growing up with my mother, Cynthia Clemons, I can remember as a child when my dad was looking for a job, she would tell us, you know what, we're going to fast. And I can remember walking to the television with her, and she was like, lay your hands on the television. And we would pray with the TV evangelist.
Right.
But all of that, that was actually those are golden nuggets that established me, to have confidence in God. Because I saw my dad get a job, and I saw the power of prayer works when you corporately do things together. And my mother called us corporately to come together as a family so that Dad gets a job. And he got the job. And I really didn't know what was going on. I just knew that, James Evans, good times when he get the job. That's how we was. Wow.
Right.
He's at the mill now.
Right.
So most of my inspiration came from my mother and my grandmother. They were just faith-based people. I'm not going to say religious. Their faith is what shined, and I took after it.
I know your journey, and I know some of the positions that you had in life,
Right.
as far as your different businesses and things
Right.
like that. So your family life produced a person who said, I have to win.
Right.
You don't know what no means.
Right.
And so you have plenty of things that got you to where you are today.
Right.
Commendable example. And to take that power and to say, I want to give back.
Right.
My motto is, and I said it on my last show, and I probably said it before, but I took this from my pastor, Bishop Scotty Jackson. If I can help someone, then my living won't be in vain.
Right.
That's why I do what I do, and that's why you do what you do.
Right.
And all of the good ministries. What I love about ministries like this, there's no real big offering being taken out.
Right. There's
no bleed to people dry. And I'm not saying any pastor is bleeding anyone dry.
Right.
I'm not saying that at all.
Right.
Let's just be clear. But it's a wonderful thing to have a gift to give.
Right.
What is your future expectations? You have food now.
Right.
What's next?
Well, in Acts 4:32, it says, all believers were in one heart and one mind. No one claimed that any of their possessions were their own, and they shared everything.
Yes.
And the Bible said that they lacked nothing. My goal in the future is through our budget that we create with our pay what you can breakfast, we're gonna have a pay what you can child care program where that'll allow parents to bring their children in and actually pay what you can for us to look after your child while you go on a doctor's appointment, you go to work, or you just want to go out night on the town. Our community center goal is to develop our resources through the people. So when you get the people involved, they kind of own it.
Right.
You know, it's like renting a house. The person renting the house really don't love the house like if it was their own. So we want people to see what they're investing in. We've already started our pay what you can trade services where, say if you have a plumbing problem, we'll send one of our licensed plumbers out to the house. Maybe the cost to fix the plumbing is $100. Maybe you only have $50. You pay what you can, but by people buying our breakfasts, we have a budget to offset what the plumber might charge. We'll take care of the difference. And so that allows our ministry to grow because you didn't have the whole 100, but you come down to the community center, eat, and sow into that ministry. One of our technicians come out, fix your plumbing, you pay what you can. Even through grass cutting season, snow removal season.
Wow, yes.
We're offering all services, pay what you can. It's nothing, there's no price on anything. We're charging God. So it's like what you read in the Bible,
right.
The revolution has begun. We are stepping out on our faith, believing that God is going to send a people to heal this land.
This is a faith-based
Ministry.
service.
Yeah.
Right. It's
100%.
ministry, no doubt, 100%. And so we do the math in business. We've both been in business
Right.
and are in business, and we know that if you have a product and you make 10%, then you can grow. If you make 110%, you
Right.
can grow faster. And so, what is the formula?
Well, the formula is volunteers, people and their talents. If you get people that love to landscape, and they have a place where they can gather,
Right.
which is the Family Life Community Center. We have the equipment, the tractors, the pruning tools, the vehicles. They love to go out and help Sister Mabel
Right.
get those trees
Right.
down next door because the house is vacant.
Right.
You know, we have a lot of these young ladies that have their CNA certifications and have their nurses, assistants qualification that will love to go out and utilize the care that they have. Some people just love to serve.
Indeed.
So you have to get those people under one roof,
Yes.
under the banner of Christ,
Right.
and put a system together where we at a small pace go out and start helping the seniors, the ones that might need pull-up bars in the bathroom,
Right.
pull-up bars by the toilet. You
Right.
know, go out there and start servicing these people. And once we start doing that, watch how the faith movement picks up. When we wake up in the morning, we don't ask God for breath.
Right.
And I believe with this ministry, we're not going to have to ask God for a dime
I believe that.
because it's a living body.
I believe that. There's a senior facility located right on the border of Indiana, Illinois.
Right.
And I've also done it in Valparaiso. Now, the people in Valparaiso, they actually have, they set.
Right.
They're not wanting for anything. But they're seniors.
Right.
So I came up with a program about 7 years ago. I only charged $20
Wow.
or $25 to go clean a $125 apartment.
Right.
The thing is, you shouldn't charge your seniors. Now, in Valpo, people thought I was crazy because
Right.
these people have money. I get that, but they are living
Right.
in a senior assisted facility. So
Right.
when we have picked up the other account, even though my cleaning service is primarily shut down, anytime that facility call and say, hey, these people want their apartments clean, I still do it for basic. That's virtually free.
Right.
And so that's the ministry. So I say that to confirm. The gentleman says we have volunteers. People want to do this.
People want to.
Indeed. And then also you may run into, and I'm just thinking business-wise, you may run into a guy who want to barter. Hey, if you got the
Yeah.
equipment, I got the know-how, let me use this equipment on Monday, and then Tuesday I can give you 4 hours of my
Exactly.
time. It's just an example.
Exactly.
Right. Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. This is big, man. And Gary is, wow, once you have this market cornered, can you spread out to other cities?
Well, we about 3 years ago, God gave me the vision of what we call the Seed Project, and the Seed Project is simply affordable housing. And you know, if anyone watches TV, you don't understand how a garage is built. It costs about $10,000 to build a garage.
Okay.
2-car garage. A garage is nothing but a small house.
Right.
So in reality, if you put a little money together, we can solve homeless issues. It's like growing this seed project is placing the responsibility on God. And when you do that, we're going to sow seeds in every county, you know, county by county, and we're going to have leaders in position to take over those seeds from our original location now, which is 565 Massachusetts. But we're going to move that, and people under our ministry now, we're going to send them out, and we're going to place small seeds in every community under the banner of small little garages. But they're going to be community centers.
Right.
And our hub will be in Gary, Indiana.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah. It's
That's
really
huge.
simple.
That's huge. It's
Yeah.
a bit to you, because this is what you do, but I
Right.
know it's complex as well. We're going to take another commercial break. This commercial break is brought to you by Andre Renee's Spiritually Spoken Poetry CD, streaming now from all your streaming sites. Be right back. And you are back with Andre Renee's Creative Cafe. And we are talking to Mr. Clemons about his vision. It's a huge vision. And I hope you guys are tuning in and learning and loving what God has for us. This gentleman has built a community center that's helping the city of Gary. Not only is he giving out breakfasts for whatever you could pay. So if you have $1, you pay $1. If you have the ability to pay more, you pay $20. I paid $15 for mine. You can pay $25 because you know the extra is going places and you're able to see it. Today's a powerful show. And so if you get anything from this show, besides supporting 565 Massachusetts Street and his vision and his ministry, it's your time. Jesus said, how can you love me whom you never seen and hate your people? And I'm paraphrasing people. And hate the people that you see every day. So, and you say, I love God. And Jesus is my everything. And have you tried Jesus? And you do all that. And you have a person that's so spiritually fit. But when a person comes up and say, hey, I need $20 for gas.
Right.
I ain't got it. Why
Right.
your purse so fat?
Right.
And so here's, you have a gentleman who's, and an organization, you're not in it by yourself.
Right.
You have an organization that says, I'm willing to give back. And I have plans, strong plans of spreading it as far as God would allow us.
Right. No limit.
No limit. And we're not talking about the guys from Louisiana. We're talking about what God has for you. What advice would you give someone who's a 9 to 5 or a business person? How can they give back themselves?
Well, first you have to be able to identify God's voice. Identifying God's voice is really not hearing a voice, in my opinion, coming from heaven. It's more of an appetite. You know when you're thirsty, and you know when you're hungry. And when God is talking to you, He gives you a strong appetite for what He wants you to do. And so, as long as you have that appetite, that means that God still wants to feed you.
Yes.
And if you ever stop hungering for what that vision is, that means you're off course.
Indeed.
So you have to get around people that has the same vision as in Acts chapter 4. You got to cut away the fat, the non-believers, the people that will question your vision.
Right.
Because all of those questions turn into weed, and when what weed does is choke out blooming flowers.
Indeed.
So if you have to walk alone for a minute, walk alone.
Right.
And then out of nowhere, you're going to see like-minded people, like-minded ministries. And I tell you, what, two or more gather. You really just need two. Right. The Bible said, "Where two or more gathered in my name, there I am in the midst."
Indeed.
That's powerful.
Indeed. Indeed. If you have an explanation of failure, not saying that you're planning to fail, but we all stumble. What would be your definition of failure? What do you do after failure? Let's take it that way.
Well, in my opinion, that word doesn't exist. As I talked before offline, we're to exercise our gifts.
Yes.
You're only as strong as the exercise that you do. So you have to continue to. If you can't lift 100 pounds right now, you got to continue to exercise. Right. You got to continue to do what God has commanded you to do. Even though you might not lift that weight of growing your business, by 50% this year, continue to work that business. It'll get stronger. It'll grow. Failing is only in a mindset.
Indeed.
You cannot fail as long as God is with you. You don't fall, period.
A man that says he can win is right. A man that says he will fail is right. They're both right. It's a mindset. I agree. Here's one of your concept values. Participating in the community nourishes the soul. These are one of your core concepts. That's wonderful. Where did you derive that from?
Well, I was Googling it, and I was trying to get put the right words in the concept of my thinking, because I could talk all day long and just empty my thoughts. But when you put the words together, it just simply means having a sure identity of yourself. A sure identity of yourself. You have to know what you're capable of doing. Right. If you don't know what you're capable of doing, you can be overtaken. Right. So identity is key, and you need coaches to do that. Right. You got to get coaches. You have to be able to be coached from a bird, a river. Just look at nature. Don't be so religious that you don't look at God's creation to succeed.
Amen. Mr. Clemons, we thank you. We thank you. We thank God for the Family Life Community Center.
Thank you.
I appreciate you for coming out, and we will do this again for sure.
All right.
Hey, we have this thing, and we're short on time. We have this thing. What would Jesus do? How would Jesus address the bullying crisis? And so, in short, people, we have to start loving on one another. We cannot let our Instagram, our social media, your opinions to bully someone. You could say something on Instagram and set someone off. There's a celebrity there's a few celebrities with mental illness, and they're putting it out there like, I have this disease. So instead of loving on them, you're bullying them, and you're saying hurtful words. If a person don't believe as you do, you want to bully them. Or if you're a scary little cat, you're going to want to have this defense mechanism of bullying, but you're the one that need a hug. So love on someone today. Stop the bullying. I have a book, Bullies Don't Scare Me. It deals with the kids and his adoptive parents who adopted him. He's been bullied. It's adults as well. So teenagers, kids, love on someone, people. God bless you in Jesus' name. Thank you. And every Sunday, 6:30, 102.3, Andre Renee's Creative Cafe. Remember, we love you. Love us back.
Thanks for tuning in to